What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Sports Card Madness, the podcast that focuses on sports cards, collectibles, the hobby, and everything else in between. For today's episode, I sat down with LZ again, and we brought on Adrian Dantley, NBA Hall of Famer. We talked about hoops and cards and life, and it was really awesome to get a perspective of kind of the player behind the card. I think you guys will love it. We sure did. We love talking to him. So, let's dive in. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Sports Card Madness. I'm here with LZ again, and I'm with someone that needs probably no introduction. Some of the accolades here. We've got Adrian Dantley. He is an NBA Hall of Famer, an Olympic gold medalist, 6-time All-Star, 2-time scoring champion, and 1977 Rookie of the Year. Did I get all that right, Adrian?
Yeah. Gold medal winner. Gold medal.
Awesome.
76. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Well, welcome to the podcast. Thanks for jumping on.
No problem at all. Good talking to you guys.
Adrian, really, really nice to meet you. Thanks for joining us on this lovely evening. Me and Nick did a lot of research, getting prepared for this. Very excited to have the opportunity to speak with you. I kind of want to go way back to your college days, Notre Dame, and you were part of a very special game where your team broke up that UCLA team, 88 game win streak. That's pretty incredible. So I was just wondering if you could kind of go back to that moment and talk about that moment. That must have just been huge for you guys.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I just got in touch with some Notre Dame people in the last month. We're supposed to be coming back to Notre Dame this year. They're trying to get all the players together. It'll be 50 years this coming January. January 18th, I think, was the game. It was the date when we played them 50 years ago. So we all supposed to be getting together with that. But at that time, I think I was the freshman at Notre Dame, and we were ranked number 2. UCLA was ranked number 1. I think both of us had a record of 14-0. So, and during that time, Digger Phelps would always practice like the end of the game. Even 2 weeks, 3 weeks before the game, we would practice taking down the nets, because maybe in the last 5 or 10 minutes of practice, we would be preparing for, UCLA. So we did that for about a month, and it was a big game. The one thing that I remember the most was Bill Walton. Every time I see him, he always tease me, but Bill Walton was so cocky. I can remember when we had practice on a Friday night, and we just finished practice, and UCLA were about to come on the court. So we crossed paths, and I can remember Bill to this day. He was walking, he was whistling the Notre Dame fight song. That punk guys know. That's the one thing I remember. I used to tell him, I say, "Hey, Bill, he was whistling the fight song when we was passing each other?" He said, "Yeah." So anyway, being a great game, we came back last 3 minutes of the game. I think they were up. And I didn't notice until I read a book on Coach Wooden that he didn't believe in calling timeouts. So
really?
we had a good momentum the last 3.5 minutes. And we end up breaking their 88-game winning streak, and everybody was going crazy that night. Everybody was partying.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, that's really interesting. The whole part around when you cross paths and Bill Walton was kind of whistling your fight song and everything. Did you as the team talk about that before the game or even during the game, how you were getting disrespected by them? I'm just wondering, what did you use to get pumped up for that moment?
Well, everybody was pumped up for the game, but did that.
Yeah.
I think a lot of guys were pumped up.
Right, with those sideburns, how can you take them seriously, right?
Friday, 6:30 in the evening, so we had a lot of time. We had that much time to think about it, but guys were talking about it the next day when we was getting together.
That's incredible. That's great. That's great.
And every time I see him, it's funny though, when they lost the game, he was crying. So every time I see him, I say, "Hey, Bill, you remember crying after the ball game?" He's like, "Worst thing ever happened."
Oh, so he didn't deny it.
You guys broke our 88 game winning streak. So every time I see him, that's the first thing he says.
Yeah.
Wow. You really said,
I'm curious. How often do you see him? Do you just run into him once in a while at different events?
I'll see him like maybe at the Hall of Fame. I'm not going this weekend, or I see him. He did that. He telecast. He did some games here in DC.
Oh yeah,
Celtics. And I see him, so forth.
Yeah.
Once in a while when I see him, I don't see him on a regular basis.
Yeah,
I do see him. He brings it up.
Mm-hmm. So is that how it works with now that you're inducted into the Hall of Fame? Do you go every year when the new class is coming in? Is that how it works?
When the new class
typically
comes in,
Yeah.
when the new class come in, half the guys that show up, maybe half might not show up one year.
Yeah.
And the following year, some other guys might show up. But everyone who's inducted to the Hall of Fame can go back.
Nice.
When they have it this coming Saturday, just so I'm not going this weekend.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Nice. Nick, what did you have? I know we had a couple things.
So Adrian, I'm buddies with an old Jazz fan, and he told me I had to ask you this to see if you remember this. I know you had a specific free throw routine. You had something you said to yourself, but he wanted me to ask you, do you remember when you're at a home Jazz game, before you'd end your practice with free throws, somebody would yell, "Eat 'em up, AD." He said somebody did that with all your free throws. I don't know if you remember, but
yeah, it was the fan that used to always say that. And I was wondering why we saying "eat 'em up" when I was at the free throw line. Probably see it during the course of the game, but I had a regular routine, and I learned this since I was in high school under my great coach Morgan Wooten, who was a Hall of Fame. I think it's only like 2 or 3 high school coaches who are Hall of Famer, and we was practicing. Everybody knew the routine. I just said it from that time on throughout my career: over the front rim, backspin, follow through. So that was my routine. I kind of rubbed the ball a little bit. Everybody used to get on me because I almost took 10 seconds or more.
Oh yeah,
and I was pretty good. 83, 82% free throw shooter. So
that's very good. Yeah.
So, that was my routine. So
yeah. And was it just a routine, or was there any superstition behind that too?
No, it wasn't no superstition.
No.
Just, that's what you should do. That's what everybody should say.
Mm-hmm.
They, go to the free throw line. Everybody has a different, routine, what they do on the line. But that was mine, and for a couple, for a decade and a half. Huh?
Wow.
That's amazing.
Wow.
So if you look back at those days, have you saved anything from your playing days, like jerseys or memorabilia or anything like that? Like anything special, like the rim from, the UCLA game?
I don't think I could have gotten the rim, but it's funny how naive I was when I was young, because I have a lot of stuff here, but then I gave a lot of stuff away. And then when I started traveling, I started seeing people saving everything, and I was like, man, I made a major mistake. But I have a lot of, I have uniforms here, and, all my trophies and so forth. And I'm glad I kept them, because I have a lot of people who call me on a regular basis. They want to, Hall of Fame. They want to buy a Rookie of the Year.
Of course.
And the first thing I ask them is, because they be telling me that all the players that have sold their stuff, and I said, first thing I always say is, they must have no money,
Yeah.
And the majority of the times, that is the case. And I, couldn't believe it. I'm going to keep my eyes, I guess when I get 90 years old, I ask my kids what you want to do. But it amazes me how much memorabilia that other people have of former athletes that still in their, 40s, 50s, and 60s. And they're selling it. So when I got everything, I got a little few things around. Yeah.
That's great. Do you have like a room where you keep it all, or?
Yeah, I got a room, and I got to add on to it. Like,
Yeah.
it was a library. I saw football on NFL the other day when they had the full football players on there, and player Kirk Cousins was on it, and he had a special room. I saw. It's pretty nice. I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
So that's the thing I always say about all the other athletes when they sell their stuff. Because every time somebody come and visit me at my house, that they like go crazy and all. When they see all the stuff. So
Yeah, it's all the history and the stories behind it. And yeah, that's great. I have a follow-up to that with with you gathering this memorabilia that you have from your playing days. I know that a big thing nowadays is you see a lot of players at the end of a game, they'll go up to each other, shake hands, and they'll take their jerseys off and share them with each other.
I wouldn't have it. I wouldn't have it.
I wouldn't think so.
We weren't taking off jerseys, signing them. We weren't, traded, want to get traded to that team if they beat us in the playoffs. That was the last thing anybody would want. But no, it's different generation there. Different. I mean, they do that in football and, basketball, but it would be very difficult for me or back when we played or players in our era. You play in a certain team, you play in the Celtics, and you're going to switch your jersey with McKill or Bird or somebody like that. But I mean, we never even think of anything like that. So it's different day now.
Was there even any like pleasantries after a game with the other team, like nice stuff, or it was
seldom,
like
very seldom? Everybody getting the game, nice game, and all that. We were just gone. I mean, well, it's funny to see that, but that's what's going on right now.
Seems like everybody's too nice nowadays. You guys are a little tougher. That's the vibe I get.
When I played, I didn't really want anybody to know me because once they get to know you, they feel a lot more comfortable.
Sure.
They didn't know you. You never know what the particular player.
Yeah.
What they thought.
Yeah, you didn't want them to find out any vulnerabilities or weaknesses that you might have in your personality. Anything.
Once you got, when I used to play against players and they just come up to me, "Oh, Adrian, I was out last night real late. Take it easy on me." I'm like, that's the worst thing they could say to me. This went off, not even saying anything at all. So you know that when the player's trying to butter you up, you can really take advantage of them. But no. We didn't do those things back then.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah, different times.
So, Adrian, I had a quick question. This podcast is about sports cards, and I've got your rookie card up here, and I wanted to know, I want to get to know like the player behind the card, right? And I was thinking, like, what did it feel like? Maybe you didn't notice at all, but if you did, what did it feel like to see yourself on like a basketball card for the first time?
Well, it was kind of strange, seeing it for the first time. It was that was the rookie of the year, and it's amazing. I get a ton of mail since I retired. I mean, a ton. I always say to people, "How do these people get my address? They can come and shoot me if they wanted to." But I get a ton of mail since I retired. I might get 5, 6, 7 cards a day. That rookie of the year card or cards where I played in my during my career. And I got a ton of that. Matter of fact, I'm kind of embarrassed that I haven't been able to mail them back, but I've been doing a little bit at a time since I really retired at the end of my career. I'm up to date on the stuff from the last 5, 10 years and stuff like that. But I still have more. But it's amazing how many cards that I get from the Olympics or cards that I played in Europe. That rookie of the year card, so.
That's great. Yeah, I mean, you've signed some stuff for both of us, so it's
you
awesome.
Have. You get jerseys, and you get your guys' parents get ready to get married or girlfriend and all that. So I've done a lot. Yeah.
So how come not all players are really good about signing autographs, especially nowadays? You seem amazing at it and like super responsive. Why are you so open to doing it versus the other guys who don't?
I don't know if it makes the person, feel good. They want to get an autograph. It don't really bother me. But I tell you what really bothers people when I go to a lot of autograph signings and so forth. And everywhere I go, the people who were there or people getting autographed, they always say, man, I wish all the other athletes would sign my card the way you do. Because, I've been to some shows and I've been to, I'll be at there 2 hours before another player get there. And the player come when, about 2 hours later and be done before I would be done because they just scribble.
Yeah.
I said, I can't even understand what they're saying on the card. That's what a lot of people always say to me all the time. So it's good.
How often do you get involved with more of those kind of shows where you're going to go and do autographs? I'm just curious about that whole process, like how you get approached to do one of these, whether it's a charity event or if you could just talk a little bit about how you get involved in those and the process.
Some of them might be charity events, but like I said before, they'll find out where you live or they'll call the NBA office and get your telephone. And then they say, hey, last week I did one over at the Dallas Expo. But it's funny that majority of the autographs that I do, I'm doing majority with football players. It might only be 2 or 3 basketball players. But the majority of the time is, is football players at the most of these shows,
Yeah, that's actually a bit shocking because I know that basketball cards, at least the cards, right? I don't know what's getting signed, but basketball cards are very popular collectibles right now. So, yeah, that's.
I would agree with you on that.
Yeah, yeah. So I have a kind of a follow up to Nick's question, and I'm wondering if you could even explain how this process works. So I'm going to put another card on the screen, which is one that actually you signed as well, but it looks like it's done with a sticker. So it might have been, you signed some stickers and then the company puts it on a card. So I am curious, like how that process works. Like, do you sit in front of a table with thousands of stickers and you're just signing these Panini stickers? What does that look like?
I just mailed Panini some cards a couple of days ago, and sometimes when they do an autograph session, they might have 500 stickers. You might sign 2,000, but they send stickers on a regular basis. I don't know what they do once they get the stickers.
Yeah,
I just mail it back. To them, and they do all the NBA players that ever played the game. So cards, their own special cards, and then also send stickers. And when you sign on stickers, you got to really focus the right way, because if you just scribble scrabble, you don't even look good. So
no,
that takes up a lot of time, doing the stickers.
Yeah, how long?
I don't know what they do with it.
Yeah, well, they're putting them on cards, and they're putting them on their different cards and what have you. So you just did a round, you said. Like, does it take you all day to go through to get through these signatures?
Well, usually what they do is they send you. They might send you. Say you have a contract with them, and they give you a month to get them done.
Okay.
I always get mine done in 3 days. They kind of like me at Panini because I'm always get it done. I might spend a whole weekend, all day on Saturday, all day on a Saturday. I get up, might eat breakfast, then I might start at 12, and then I might be finished about 8 o'clock that night.
Wow.
Then I just mail on Monday. Now I couldn't wait. You could do, all right, I'm gonna do 100 here, do 100 here, but I always like to get it done on a weekend. Like I just sent a batch. They wanted them for August the 23rd. When I got it back to them, I mailed it Monday. So
okay,
that's how it works. Most players don't do it all at one time. They just spread it out over 3 weeks.
Yeah. Well, I think that tells a lot about your personality, right? You're one of those people that doesn't procrastinate and just wants to get it done.
Yeah, I know. I've sent you a card personally before. I think I got it back in like 8 days. It's like, wow, this guy's amazing. So yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
So Adrian, if you still, I imagine you still watch the NBA, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have, are there any young guys that you like to watch or like have your eye on? I know you said on another show that you liked KD. Obviously, he's more towards the end of his career, but is anybody that like excites you or you love to watch or can't miss?
Well, Durant, he's from the DC area. I remember him in high school. But well, I like it's funny though. He's always hurt all the time for the Clippers. I mean,
Oh, Kawhi?
he's like favorite player, but
Mhm.
oh, he's doesn't play that much. So because he plays the mid range game,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Not fancy, just get the job done. But it's too bad he's had a series of a lot of bad luck with injuries and so forth. So
Mhm.
it's been interesting.
Yeah. So did those two guys, KD and Kawhi Leonard, like did they remind
No, I don't think
you
they
of
remind me of my playing. They didn't remind me of the way I played.
no?
Kyrie, not really. It's just that I like their style of play,
Yeah.
mid range. They're not really concerned about shooting a lot of threes.
Mm.
They take whatever the defense gives them. So, and I kind of like all the players. It's a
Yeah.
different game. They shoot a lot of threes, but so it's a little bit different now.
Yeah.
Sometimes I always kid people. I always kid guys that I talk to about basketball. I'd be like, I don't know if I would make an NBA team now because they looking at stuff that don't even have anything to do with basketball. What's this wingspan and all that?
Yeah.
I think you would be
What
just
are you
fine.
running?
Yeah.
What are you running suicide? And I used to hate running. In college.
Oh, suicides.
40-yard dash and
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, except now they'd have you run it and have a parachute on the back of you while you're running it.
yeah.
And you have to shoot a 3 at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's funny. I saw some sort of training video with Steph Curry recently, and he was almost doing that thing. He was running full sprints, full court to one side of the 3-point line, shooting a 3, running full sprint the other way, shooting a 3, and it just like lasted forever. It was just like back and forth and back and forth. It's like, wow.
Yeah, I used to do that drill.
You did?
It's not to shoot threes, but
Yeah.
then or if you had somebody,
Yeah.
those drills, no problem. I didn't shoot threes.
Yeah.
Did the exact same 3, maybe inside the 3.
Okay.
18 feet, 19 feet. Yeah, that's normal. That's just a normal basketball
Normal drill.
to get in shape.
Yeah. Yeah. You're in good shape. What do you do to stay active
Well,
nowadays?
Well, it helps when you got everything in your house. So I got everything in my house. I don't need to go nowhere.
Nice.
That's my, that's my sanctuary. I got up early and worked out because I knew I was talking to you guys at 8, but I didn't finish. So as soon as I finished talking to you, I'm going to finish up. But
Okay.
I do that every day. I take pride in. I'm kind of abnormal. I don't eat what everybody else eat. When I go out to a party or so forth, we'll get together.
Mhm.
Oh, you don't want anything to eat, so So one time I might eat something just so they won't ask me to eat anymore. But I've been conscious about what I put in my body and always been like that. It's funny when I go to certain places and I see older women and they be calling me a young man, and they don't know I'm 1 year and 7 months from being 70 years old.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah. So
Well,
anyway,
it's all about the routine, I guess, right? So all right. So you have a strict diet, it sounds like, but what is your one cheat meal? Like your one splurge? If you're out to dinner and they have this on the menu, you are going to order it.
if I'm not in a restaurant, it's nothing particular on the menu that I would eat. But my weakness is Hershey candy. That's my weakness.
Okay.
Hershey candy with Doritos.
Ooh.
Sounds good.
I go on, I might Cheesecake Factory. I might eat a little bit of Cheesecake Factory if I go
Sure.
there.
All right. Nothing wrong with cheesecake.
Yeah.
Nope. Nope.
I've never been big on desserts. I don't know why. I know why, because they make you heavy after you eat them. You look at
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, Adrian, I promise not to keep you too long, and we want to get you back to your workout.
Oh,
so
no problem.
I had one final question for you. I ask everybody this when they come on. If you could get a coffee, sit down for an hour or so with any sports player, not here anymore, or here, any sport, anytime, who would it be?
Well, I think it probably would be Bill Russell. He was for
Mm.
civil rights, and just to hear his stories, what he went through as a Celtic. And I used to talk to him occasionally. A little bit, but not really sit down like you would say. But he was one of my favorite guys. Also, couldn't really give you one, but Wilt Chamberlain, he was always interesting.
Yeah.
I remember when I played in the Olympics, and we was about to go out and play Czechoslovakia for the championship, and we in the hallway. So Wilt Chamberlain comes down. He's like, "Where's this dude, Adrian Dantley at? Where's this guy? Let me meet him." So I said, he shook my head. He almost broke my hand. I always remember that. He came down. So, it's pretty interesting. Yeah.
He has there's a new documentary out about Wilt, and Arnold Schwarzenegger was talking about him, and he was working out. Arnold was working out with all his guys doing tricep presses and things. Wilt walks right in and outdoes him, like without even thinking. He just does it. He does more weight than Arnold. And he's like, "What?
Come on. I didn't see that.
Yeah, I know that.
That's great.
I know that Wilt Chamberlain did win a lot of championships.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't realize how great of a athlete he was, even when he was at Kansas. I mean, and back then he wasn't big and strong. Like he was lean and thin and could run up down the court. But
Yeah.
records he got, was unbelievable. But
Yeah.
I guess when I was a little kid, I was always, idolized him. Also El Jabella, who's from D.C. area, who a lot of people don't even know about. One of the greatest of all time. So
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Awesome. Well, Adrian, thank you.
On one guy, that would be pretty tough, though.
Yeah,
to
I
nail
hear
it.
you.
Yeah.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Adrian, thank you so much for joining us. This is really cool. I feel like I learned a lot about your playing days, and just right now about Wilt. That was an awesome story.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Enjoyed it anytime.
All right, enjoy your workout. Thanks, Adrian.
All right, take care. See you later. Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, LZ. We just spoke with an NBA Hall of Famer, and I have to admit I was a little bit starstruck. I was like, started a couple times or whatever, but that was really cool. I don't know. What did you think of the conversation?
Yeah, Nick. You started talking, at the beginning, you introduced him, right? And you're talking about all of his accolades. Let's review them. 6-time All-Star, 2-time scoring champ, NBA Rookie of the Year, Olympic gold medalist. It was pretty incredible. And I think the thing that was probably most shocking is just, I don't know if it's shocking, but just how friendly he was, right? Like, and open to talk to us and share with us different stories, and just kind of opening up about his playing time, college and the NBA, and then even the collectible side of it. So I thought it was great. It's a great interview.
The thing that stood out for me, I feel like I know what I'm doing in the collector world, and I thought I knew everything about how Panini works. I did not know that they mail 500 stickers to players for them to sign and say, sign this in 30 days. That was like, I thought they, I don't know, went to a hotel room and casually signed 25 someday or whatever. But it sounds like he's getting of them, and there's like a time limit to sign these things. And the kicker for me was, he's like, I don't know where they go. It was like, it was pretty wild. And we have a sticker right here. It's like, this is where it goes. For me, it's, as he said that, I'm like, that's why I like to get the cards signed. because it's like it's
Yeah.
so much different having Adrian Dantley's hands on your card. He signs it for you versus he spent a Saturday signing stickers and they ended up who knows where and what set.
Yeah, you don't know where they're putting them, and yeah, through the mail, TTM. That's like the epitome. It's like the ultimate TTM. You're sending 500 signatures in some sort of box. Hopefully that's an insured box through the mail. But and that was wild. That was. I'm so glad that we asked that question. Because I've always wondered. It's similar to you. I thought they went to like the Panini offices for the weekend with their agent and they sat down and signed 10 cards. But 500 of them. And you got to think too, I would assume like Adrian Dantley's signature is not going to be as widely used as some of the players that are in the NBA now, right?
Sure.
So you do
think.
wonder, like, what does some of the big stars in the NBA, how many are they signing?
Yeah, and how long do they stash them for? How long does 500 go? Is that good for 5 years? Good for 4 months? Good for like how many? I don't think we know the answer to that, but
that would have been a good follow-up. A good follow-up question would have been, how often are you getting those 500?
Yeah, it's so wild.
Yeah.
The other thing that's crazy for me is like, obviously he's a Celtics fan. I'm a huge Bill Russell fan. I have his signed jersey hanging in my office. It's interesting to hear how respected he was by other Hall of Fame players. Like that was really cool. It sounds like Adrian really looked up to him. It's like the first name that came out of his mouth.
Yeah. He talked about how he had a few chances to talk to him, but it might have been like when he did get that chance, he was a little starstruck and he would have loved to just sit down with him over dinner or coffee and really kind of pick his brain and hear his stories. Yeah, it's great. He brings up the Celtics a lot too, because I've heard him on other podcasts mention Red Auerbach and Larry Bird and McHale, and so I think definitely respected. I one of the other things too, and this was just to my point around him opening up. I thought it was great, the story around them breaking or stopping UCLA's 88 game win streak, and that's all well and good. I think we all know that story, that they did that Notre Dame, but the whole part around Bill Walton kind of talking smack during practice, like before the game. And it was great to see that now they've run into each other, and Adrian kind of holds that over his head every time that he sees Walton. And I mean, Walton's a great guy with a huge personality, so I'm sure he takes it well. But that was pretty cool.
50 years too. It's I bet he regrets whistling the fight song.
I think so.
That's really cool though.
I think so. Yeah,
it's wild. Adrian just seems so prolific at signing for the fans. Like he really cares. Like he seemed visibly upset that he had a pile of mail he hadn't been able to get out yet.
I know.
To sign, and it was just cool hearing cards from all over the world that he signs all the time, and just a great guy.
Yeah, mentioned jerseys.
I'm glad he's so accessible for us. It's just awesome.
Yeah. I think, because you also, I think you had a follow-up question and you asked him, like, why do we have this experience with you, but then other players not so much? And he didn't really go too deep into that one, but you can just tell that he genuinely likes interacting with fans. In that follow-up you had around the question around him shooting the free throws with that fan, that heckler for when he was with the Jazz. It was pretty neat that he remembered that.
Him.
Yeah,
I remembered him. I'll have to let Tom know, because he remembers too. He's a big Jazz fan, so that's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, for those who are watching this video as well, I mean, you saw, like, he's in great shape for his age. So he said he's 1 year away from 70.
Yeah,
he's still got that routine. Works out every day. Doesn't eat garbage food.
Nope.
Other than sometimes cheesecake when he cheats, but everybody
old
should
school
cheat.
Hershey's. That's great.
Yeah, I think he said Hershey's and Doritos. Didn't he?
Interesting combo.
Yeah, but both great. You can't argue
go
with
wrong
either of
with either
those.
one.
No, you can't. But yeah, just great shape. I mean, I hope I can. I mean, he's a professional athlete, so I, that's a big shoes to fill. Hopefully, when I'm getting close to 70, I'm gonna have that routine and that discipline like he does. I think that's amazing.
All right. Yeah, so this was really, it was a big episode for us. We're kind of looking
Mhm.
forward to bringing more guests on like this. I've reached out to other ex-players and current players and stuff. So hopefully you guys liked it. Again, we said this last time. We actually held a contest to to get reviews. If you enjoy this podcast and want to keep it going and support us, the best way to do that is subscribe to the podcast. And if you did like it, leave a 5-star review, and we'll keep cranking them out every Friday, right, LZ?
That's right. That's right. Yep.
All right, that's the pod.
Bye, guys.